Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the ultimate recruitment blueprint for a mechanical design engineer at Infolexus. If you've been wondering exactly what top-tier engineering firms are hunting for in today's market, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to thoroughly analyze a highly detailed job description from Infolexus, decoding their exact requirements, their expectations, and, perhaps most interestingly, the critical details they deliberately left out. Okay, let's jump right in with their core mission statement. Innovate, solve, deliver, build solutions that drive the future. Wow, that sets a pretty aggressive, high-stakes tone right out of the gate, doesn't it? They clearly aren't looking for someone to just quietly sit in a corner and run software. They want relentless problem solvers who can develop truly innovative solutions and actually deliver them under the pressure of real-world deadlines. So, here is today's agenda. First, the engineering mission. Second, the essential CAD toolkit. Third, the ideal candidate profile. And finally, the missing job details. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the engineering mission. Let's unpack the core philosophy of this role. Let's look at the big picture here. What exactly does a mechanical design engineer do day-to-day at Infolexus? Well, the daily grind involves everything from drafting your basic 2D drawings to designing some highly complex industrial machine parts and automotive components. But it goes way beyond just the design phase. You're expected to prepare actual manufacturing drawings and conduct design modifications based on physical testing. This means you'll be working hand in hand with production and quality teams to ensure that what you design actually meets strict industry standards. Basically, you can't just design something that looks pretty on a screen. It absolutely has to be buildable in the real world. And this really illustrates the real-world impact of those daily responsibilities. You aren't just pushing pixels around. You're contributing directly to the future of industrial automation, automotive advancements, and heavy engineering. When Infolexus talks about building solutions that drive the future, this is exactly what they mean. They're recruiting engineers who want to have a tangible, massive impact on heavy machinery development and overall product innovation. Moving right along to Section 2, the essential CAD toolkit. Let's look at the hard software requirements. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Take a look at this matrix. It cleanly separates the 4 major CAD platforms you need to master to survive here. Look at how they value a heavy mix of skills. For SolidWorks, they want 3D CAD, assemblies, sheet metal, and even simulation. For AutoCAD, it's all about that crucial 2D drafting and dimensioning. Creo? They need parametric and surface modeling. And Siemens NX is listed for advanced CAD and manufacturing integration. This is a heavy-hitting stack of software that covers every single base, literally from the initial 2D concept all the way to final manufacturing integration. But hey, if looking at that last table made you break into a cold sweat, just take a breath. Look at this quote right here. Knowledge of any combination of these tools would strengthen a candidate's profile. The key word there is combination. You don't necessarily need to be an absolute master of every single piece of software listed. I mean, very few people are experts in SolidWorks, AutoCAD, Creo, and Siemens NX. However, possessing a strong, working combination of these tools, say you're highly proficient in AutoCAD and SolidWorks with a working knowledge of Siemens NX, well, that makes you a highly attractive applicant. They want versatility. Let's zoom out a bit for Section 3, the ideal candidate profile. It's time to look beyond just the software. So, who exactly are they looking for? Interestingly, the gates are surprisingly wide open. They're welcoming everyone from diploma holders in mechanical engineering to B.E. and B.Tech graduates all the way up to M.E. and M.Tech postgrads. But the real standout detail here, they explicitly welcome freshers with strong CAD skills right alongside experienced mechanical design engineers. This pretty much confirms that if your portfolio and software combination is strong enough, they're completely willing to look past a lack of formal years of experience. That's a huge opportunity. And the industry applications for your skills here are massive. Because the role is so incredibly design-focused, a qualified applicant could come from or be placed into some highly diverse fields. We're talking automotive, aerospace, robotics, and even cutting-edge medical devices. This really shows that Infolexus either operates across a huge spectrum of the physical engineering world, or at the very least, they deeply value the diverse problem-solving approaches that come from these different manufacturing sectors. Now take a look at this side-by-side comparison. This really hits the nail on the head for anyone trying to understand modern engineering recruitment. Infolexus wants a well-rounded engineer. Yes, on the technical side, you absolutely must know the structural realities, geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, design for manufacturing, tolerance stack-up analysis, and material selection. But you have to balance that hardcore structural knowledge with dynamic soft skills, creativity, teamwork, and sharp communication. Honestly, an engineer who can design a flawless tolerance stack-up but can't effectively communicate their choices to the production team, they just aren't going to succeed here. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, the missing job details. Let's explore the blank spaces on this blueprint. Up to this point, they've given us a highly detailed map of exactly what Infolexus expects from you. But despite all this granular detail regarding software and impact, we really have to pivot dramatically to what they deliberately leave out, the unknowns. You might have already noticed something incredibly important missing here. The advertisement completely omits basic, critical details. I mean, there is zero mention of a salary package. There is no specific number of years of experience required. We don't know the job location, the number of open positions, whether it's an on-site, remote, or hybrid work environment, what the benefits are, or literally even when the application deadline is. For a blueprint that is so incredibly exact about needing things like tolerance stack-up analysis, it is remarkably vague about where you'll actually be sitting and how much you'll be getting paid to do it. But hey, if you've got the CAD skills, the mechanical knowledge, and you're daring enough to navigate those massive unknowns anyway, they do provide a very direct line of communication. You aren't being thrown into some automated portal black hole. They give you a direct email to recruiter1@infolexus.com and a specific phone number to shoot your shot and get those unwritten questions answered directly. Which leaves us with one final provocative question to wrap up this explainer. We've seen the intense technical demands, the expectation of innovation, and the absolute mastery of the CAD toolkit required. But we've also seen the massive blank spaces regarding location, pay, and structure. So, looking at this holistic blueprint, are you willing to leap into the unknown, back your own technical skills, and apply to build the solutions that drive the future, even if you don't know where your desk is going to be? That's the question you have to answer. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the Infolexus mechanical design engineer role.